Holiday survival tip number 3. So I've offered 2 other tips along the way, and this is kind of a 2-part one. But here's what I wanted to offer you today. This is the time of year where energies get really chaotic. It's where family kind of gets together, and you might get triggered from those old dynamics kicking up, or just lots of stress. And, it's like hurry up and work really hard to have a good time. It's kind of like that stuff that's like prepare really hard for a party. So it gets so easy to get wound up in it. I get wound up in it all the time, and the stress is like waiting for you. It's waiting for you at the foot of your bed when you put your feet down in the morning. But there's 2 things that I just want to offer you today to hopefully help keep it in perspective. So the first is that when I start to feel myself whirl off, when I, especially now where like, there's no parking, you're waiting online in a mask, like it's everything's compounded and everything seems like a little bit too dramatique and too chaotic. What I ask you to do is just take one moment and get super present. Take a minute. Feel the clothes hang on your body. Smell what's around you. Look and see, look at the fabric of the back of the jacket of the person in front of you. Just take one moment and be right where you are. What do you hear? Is your heart pounding? Is it quiet? Be really physically present. And then see what's coming up for you. Is there rage? Is there impatience? Is there joy? Are you smiling? Like, what's going on for you? And sometimes you can reset just in that moment of like, okay, I know you're annoyed, but we're all right. We're almost done. We're going to make it through, and so give yourself that grace, and give yourself and give the people around you a little grace too, because you know what? We're all in that same space of like, trying so hard to be happy and joyous that it becomes its own chore. Second thing is when you find yourself in, say, with your spouse, an argument with your children, kind of a push and pull. I certainly am not telling you not to stick to your guns if you feel like this is something that's pretty serious, or do not tell your truth. That I would never suggest that. I know, because for years I stuffed that shit down. But in the case of things that are petty that come up because again everyone's stress levels are exacerbated, do you want to be happy and do you want to get what you want, or do you want to be right? Is it more important for you to cross your arms and tap your toe and be right, or is it something that's not really that consequential and you're being right or calling back? We all know better than to call back old examples, but if you happen to do that, is that going to get you what you want? No, it's going to make the other person super defensive and more likely to escalate and continue the argument. So I'm asking not for you to excuse what the other person is doing. I'm not asking you to take on their behavior or be responsible for it. But what I am asking you is this the right place to absolutely stage a war? Are we just both frustrated? Do we both need to take a break together and get present so we can be like, wait, why are we even arguing? Like, is this dumb, or is this like, you're driving me crazy, but I get where you're coming from? So 2 things today I want you to just kind of review and think in your brain. Stay present. And when you feel yourself whirling off, return to the present. Because that's when you're going to see those beautiful, priceless, like little things where no one's looking, and you see like just that moment where you're like, oh, that's a thing of beauty. That's a thing of just natural love. You watch it exchanged and it's really so gratifying. But if you're all stressed out and you're not present, you're going to miss it. And then rather than create a maelstrom of World War II and feeding off each other's heightened emotions, do you want to be right? Or is it something that's not worth the ammunition and juice for? So those are the things I offer you today. Just a little quick. I had a very blissful day and I just really wanted to share some of that with you. I, of course, spin off into stress land just like everyone else, but I just wanted to offer you a blessing today of grace and peace and being present. And I will see you tomorrow.